Hello, hi. Welcome back to our Kubernetes series. In this video, let us discuss about troubleshooting in Kubernetes. We will be seeing why the troubleshooting is critical in Kubernetes and some common Kubernetes issues. Basically, the errors like crash loop backoff, image pull backoff error, pending pods, OOM killed, and network issues. And basic troubleshooting workflow, how you need to work in production environment, basically debugging workflow. And what are the essential commands, basically the important kubectl commands while debugging. And it is also more into debugging, checking the pods and container issues, and the network debugging. Okay, this was, if you see here, this was kubectl commands for debugging. This is for pod and container debugging, and this is for network and service debugging. And here is the resource and node debugging and troubleshooting. And these are some best practices need to be followed for troubleshooting. And some quick recap about the discussion. So without further, let's enter into the video and have a discussion around it. First thing, troubleshooting means finding as well as fixing the problem within the Kubernetes. So we need to make sure to debug the systematically and resolve confidently the issues. So here is the cluster health status. If you see example flow or example, if you see here, if you run your command kubectl get pods, three issues you will found. Why? Because here there is a crash loop backup error and the worker pod is pending. That is a error, and that is not a error. It is a warning, and it is again error image pull backup, and another web pod 1 and web pod 2 which is running, so that won't be reflected here, but you see three errors, three issues basically. Okay, now let us understand why the troubleshooting is critical in Kubernetes. First thing, the applications fail unexpectedly in production. So there might be a bad configuration update, an OEM kill, or missing a secret, or the failure might happen. So the question is how fast you can find them and fix them. That is important matters here. Pods crash as well as restart or get stuck also. So there is a concept of crash loop backoff or pending or ON killed and evicted. So each state will tell different story. So you must know how exactly to read their particular state or error. And also network as well as resource issues are invisible. So the service is not routing a traffic or DNS is failing silently, pod unable to reach the another. So that won't always throw a obvious error. With the help of troubleshooting, we are able to achieve this. And faster troubleshooting is equals to less downtime. Obviously, each and every time in production, downtime has a cost. Engineers has to troubleshoot systematically and resolve the issues 10x faster than those who guess. Okay, guesswork won't work here. Top interviews, top interview kill for DevOps or DevSecOps. That means this particular skill is very much important. How would you debug a crash loop backoff? I also seen many times this question. So it is one of the most common Kubernetes interview questions. So you know to answer how it should be. Okay, and for simple understanding, for better analogy, you can think like troubleshooting is being a doctor. Okay, so you don't guess and diagnose, you check symptoms, you run the tests, and from a hypothesis and apply the treatment to the patient and verify whether is that worked or not. So there should be a systematic as well as there is no guesswork or random. Okay, so this is how exactly with the troubleshooting skill, with the troubleshooting without troubleshooting. So uh, pod crashes, if it is pod crashes, restarting everything, obviously it does, but with the help of troubleshooting we are able to find why exactly it was crashing. Okay, pending pods also, as well as users reporting a outage. Okay, so with the help of troubleshooting we are able to find the root cause by using kubectl commands, and so we can see the logs for exact error, and we can fix it and deploy less than 15 minutes, and zero users are impacted. So without troubleshooting or guesswork, we can say, let's say if we should resolve in 3 hours, then with a systematic with systematic troubleshooting, that can be done within 15 minutes. So overall the mean time for resolution was decreased. Okay, and the common errors are, common Kubernetes errors was crash loop backoff, image pull backoff, pending pods, and OAN killed network issues. Basically, crash loop backoff is something the container keep crashing again and again. First thing, the container start, then it crashes, then Kubernetes will restart it, then again it crashes. So it is exponential back off delays, and it grows back off delays by 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, like that. So here application error and handled exception, and there might be a sorry, unhandled exception, there might be a missing environment variables or secret, failed liveliness probe. So with the help of kubectl logs and pod name as well as -, previous, we can see the logs of previous pod, okay, which is failings lastly, okay. And then the next error or issue was image pull back off. That means container image is not found. So Kubernetes cannot pull the container images, so that means it is stucking at init command and never runs. So node has no container to start. There might be a chances where wrong image name or tag is given, private registry, there is no pull secrets or access, and registry unreachable from the node, basically reachability perspective. And this is the debugging command kubectl describe pod and pod name, okay. And then the another issue was pending pod. That means scheduling cannot place pod. Sorry, scheduler, that is a component in our master node. Scheduler cannot place a pod. So here pod is created but not scheduled to any node. That stays obvious pending forever, and scheduler has rejected all the nodes, okay. And here is the issues or might be the reasons: insufficient CPU or memory, no node matches the node selector, and persistent volume climb not bound to the storage. This is the debug command kubectl describe pod that will show the events. And another issue was OAM killed and network issues, basically the memory and connectivity issues. OAM killed in the sense out of memory error. So container hits its memory limit and has and was killed by the kernel. So, and also network means pods cannot reach other pods or external services. There might be regions where I mean the causes for this was memory limit too low or memory leakage in the application, and network policies, especially for network issues and blocking the traffic. So with the help of kubectl top pod and kubectl exec, we can able to debug more. Now let us understand debugging workflow, how exactly the workflow is. So first we identify the symptoms. So a user reports the issues or alert provides automatically and notices it. We get to know what's broken and in which namespace and which service it was affected. And then check the pod status with the help of kubectl get pods -a. Okay, basically we are going to find a problematic pod, uh, note the status, and restarts count column also, like how many, and inspect once it was check the status, then inspect the events and description. So kubectl describe pod and pod name. So this is the event section at the bottom of your best different, okay. Sorry, the event section at the bottom of your best different. So that will tells you exactly what Kubernetes tried and why it failed, okay, events. And after getting the events, read the container logs also, kubectl logs and pod name. So the actual application output. So we can use the add previous where especially for crashed container we can see the previous argument to see the container logs. And then finally apply the fix and verify. Make sure the targeted fix and deploy, as well as confirm the pod is reaching as well as running is in a running state. And here is the quick decision tree. First pod not running, uh, pending, this might be the issue, imageable crash or out of memory error, and initially fix and verify whether is it running or not. Now let us see the essential commands for troubleshooting. So kubectl get pods -a. So it will list all pods across all the namespaces. Quickly we can spot anything which was not a running state. Okay, and we can also add -o wide to see the node assignment also. And kubectl describe pod and pod name. So this is your most powerful debugging tool that shows your full specification, conditions, and the event session with exactly what the Kubernetes did and why it was failed. Describe command and kubectl logs and pod name -c container name to read the container like standard output, standard errors. And also we can use the previous for crashed containers, and -f for live streaming logs, okay. And kubectl exec -it pod and -fn bash, basically to interact to open your interactive terminal inside a running container to debug, okay, kind of network or check the files or to test the connectivity from inside and pod inside the pod, and kubectl top pods and kubectl top nodes. Basically this is going to help to see the cpu and memory usage, what is the requires metric server, and it spots which pod is consuming excessive resources instantly. So these are the command references whatever we just discussed. In addition to that, there are a few more commands also, and initially the approach was to start with get, later describe, and then logs. Get will show all the pods, and describe will show the uh, like entire why exactly it was failed, and logs command will show the output errors, okay, and standard errors, everything. Now let us see the pod debugging, and then the network and service troubleshooting, and resource and node troubleshooting, and then best practices. So while debugging the pod and container issues, first thing, check the status and restart count with the help of kubectl get pod and pod name. Uh, if high restarts, that means it is a crash loop backup, and if the status column it is showing as running, pending, terminated, out of queue, we show the error what exactly state it was, okay. And then describe for events, kubectl describe pod and pod name, okay. We can scroll to the event session, and that shows the what is the pull sorry, what is the error message, like failed to pull the image, or OOM killed, out of memory killed, and insufficient CPU, back of restarting, okay. And read the application logs also, kubectl logs and whatever the pod name and hyphen previous. If the if it is a crash region, it almost always the sorry, if it was a crash error, I mean current pod was crashed, then use hyphen previous to see the previous uh, like the errors of, or any fatal, or any exception, we can look into that. And also exec command, basically interactive terminal, okay, to inspect internally, like commands we can use, connectivity we can check. And here a crash loop debug recipes was this is how the flow was: get, describe, logs, previous, and fix environment secrets, and redeploy, I mean this is the arguments, okay, I mean flow, and then fix the environments and secrets, and deploy and verify the running. This is how exactly crash loop debug session looks like, okay. So the output for each and every command also shows a kubectl get pods, it shows the status, restart count, everything. And logs, it shows the error, what exactly error. And describe, it shows the complete events, basically, okay. So why exactly it failed, okay. And it won't not only shows the error, just a message, it describes that also, okay. And this is what exactly it debugging for pods and containers. Now let us see the network, yeah, network and service troubleshooting. First thing, verify the service configuration. Kubectl get service, and kubectl describe service and service name. So that is going to check the selector labels on the service match the pod labels exactly. So one typo obviously breaks routing the traffic, okay. And test the DNS also, like exec into, I mean interactive terminal into the pod, and run the NS lookup and whatever the service name, okay. And if the DNS fails, then check the core DNS pod health first, and also test the pod to pod connectivity also, like again exec into pod A and curl to pod B at so on support number. If it fails, check the network policy. If it works, then if it works but a service is still failing, then check the selector with the selector is properly matched or not. And also check the endpoints, kubectl get endpoints and my service. If the endpoint list is empty, obviously your service selector doesn't match any running pods. So this is a classic mislabel bug. And also checking the network policy blocking with the help of kubectl get network policy hyphen a, it shows the all deny policies in a column, sorry, in a common, is a common cause of silent connection failures. So you can also debug pod with a net shoot or Nicolak net shoot images, okay. And this is how exactly the network flow. We are going to check the DNS and pod A to log pod B communication, whether the service label is properly matched or not, okay. Kubectl get endpoints and service name, and that must not be empty, okay. And resource and node troubleshooting, okay. First thing, whenever we are troubleshooting with resources and nodes, check the real-time usage by using kubectl top nodes, kubectl top pods, and sort by memory. So it is going to identify which node or a pod is eating more resources, and also inspect the node health by using kubectl get nodes and kubectl describe node and node name. We are going to check the conditions whether it is ready, memory pressure, or disk pressure, PID pressure. Any true on pressure problem we can identify by using kubectl get nodes or describe nodes command. And schedule failed also, like pod is pending state, kubectl describe pod show in the event session it shows insufficient CPU, obviously insufficient memory, or in uh, no node is available. This obviously cannot place a pod in the node, right? And also check the resource requests versus resource limits. Kubectl get pods -oml and grep -a4 resources. So pods without requests, obviously that cause a poor scheduling, and pods with limits that causes a out of every out of memory kills. And the thumb golden rule was apply a set requests for the scheduler and limits for the promotion, and missing either obviously that will cause a subtle and hard to debug failure. So here is how exactly the node health dashboard looks like. Node 1 healthy, node 2 if the CPU is and memory is 94 percentage usage, and that can be evicted. Okay, so now let us see some best troubleshooting practices for Kubernetes. Always ensure do troubleshooting systematically. So resist and urge to randomly restart the things and apply the changes and don't understand. Follow a in this flow. First observe, then hypothesize, and then test and verify. One change at a time need to perform. Monitor continuously. That means don't wait for your failure. So we need to look for Prometheus alerts on CPU spike, on memory trend, error rate. Catch the issues in early stages before they cascade into the outages. And also use the centralized logging and monitoring. So kubectl logs isn't enough to in the production environment. Um, we need a ELK stack or Prometheus and Grafana that will give you a full picture across all ports all the time, and document every incident. I'll write a postmortem report, what exactly breaks and how it was found and how it was fixed and how to prevent that recurrence in the future, and what future self what future self will thank you obviously at 3 a.m errors. Okay, so that need to be documented and prevent that happen in the future. And golden rule was, this is the approach: get, describe, logs, exec. So this is the sequence that solves 90% of the Kubernetes issues. And master these four commands, and you will get obviously you will handle almost any production throughout you at your uh, application. And this is the debugging checks basically: get, describe, logs, exec. Check the status, read the events, what is the crash reason, and test inside. And also resource usage, some more is there. And common mistakes was like a first response initially only kubectl delete pod, changing the multiple configurations, skipping the event session, not documented like properly fix. Okay, and a quick recap what we just discussed was about Kubernetes troubleshooting, reading the events in a describe command and logs for previous and crashes, and exec to debug inside the container, and get the endpoints as well as service issues, and systematic approach we need to follow for faster resolution. And think like troubleshooting without a process, obviously it is a guesswork. Get, I mean the process should be get, describe, logs, and exec. So obviously it's a doctor stethoscope for Kubernetes. So in the upcoming video we'll be seeing about Helm in Kubernetes, how the package manager charts looks like, and templates and releases happen in Kubernetes. Okay, and that's it for this particular video, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and all the best for your learning.